Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to Juneteenth Day 2 celebration with Games Done Quick. My name is Thormungandr, and I'll be your host for these next couple of runs. Coming up, we've got Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, Spellbound, Rando, and also some fantastic American Truck Simulator coming up later tonight. But everybody, you're watching Black in a Flash's Summer Speedrunning Celebration Juneteenth. Type !Juneteenth in chat for the full schedule and visit gdq.gg /BAF or visit our Blue Sky to learn how you can get involved with the Black in a Flash community. But we're going to get you started right now with our first run in this block. Welcome on in kurushiidrive and also the Swarm.
Yeah, hey everyone. I'm kurushiidrive. You can also call me K-Drive. And some of you may remember me from Afterimage last night on GDQ HotFix Juneteenth, or even last year at GDQ 2024. Well, this time we got a very closely related game. We got Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Specifically tonight we'll be doing the Spellbound preset of the randomizer, which was also the same preset that was used as the sole preset for the Spring Soten randomizer tournament that happened this year. We'll be going over all the details, what Spellbound entails over the course of the randomizer run, but in order to help me with doing that, I've got the one and only The Swarm. Tell me out with the commentary. Hey, what's up, Swarm?
What's up, Kurushi? How's it going?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, this preset I mentioned before we started here today, but probably the preset I've ended up playing the most so far out of my time playing the randomizer, so hopefully it'll be a good show for you guys. But we're going to start timing from after we exit the naming tree. Just a note for people watching, normally timing starts upon gaining control of Victor in the prologue, but just for simplicity's sake, we're going to start time on the naming tree. So I'll count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And I'll let Swarm talk about what we're doing in the prologue here.
Yep, sounds good. So in the randomizer, there's a little homage to kind of some speedrunning strats here. Basically, we're going to start off with the same movement as we would for just your regular old any % run, for the reason that you can get 2 random items. So basically, in the beginning, let's say of any %, you would get 41 hearts, go to the Dracula fight, and then expend all your hearts while beating Dracula by doing, holy water stacks. And that would be in order to get the heart refresh and the neutron bomb. But because we're playing a randomizer, you get 2 random consumables, which can be a library card or a mana prism or something really good or something not so good. But we're hoping for a library card. So
yes, ideally that would be so. So yeah, that was a pretty solid prologue.
Yeah.
So now we're going to gain control of Alucard, and we'll be checking quickly our random equipment that we start with before we begin. We'll be talking about what Spellbound's all about starting from here. So Spellbound is basically before we begin there, no library cards there. But yeah, Spellbound is basically a vanilla randomizer experience, so to speak. It's based on the safe preset, but some of the special things about it is that Alucard is stripped away of all of his spells to start the randomizer run. Normally you start with access to all your spells when you play this game, but in this preset, the spells are all locked behind getting the respective familiar card. So for example, Ghost card is locked behind Summon Spirit, Soul Steel is locked behind Fairy card, and things of that nature. The other things related to Spellbound are that it's a complexity 9 preset, and I'll let Swarm talk about what complexity is all about, because that's an important randomizer concept, just not just for this preset, but for randomizer on a whole.
Mm-hmm. So generally the way that complexity works is that just like in any Metroidvania, you're getting these items that unlock other checks, and that kind of forms a tree, like a logic tree, where you get something, it unlocks other locations, and then you go get that thing, and then that will unlock other locations. So it's kind of this flow that you go through to advance through the game. And what we call complexity are those individual steps. So as we get relics that will progress us to be able to unlock new checks, that will be a step in complexity. This is a complexity 9, which is high. And basically what that means is that there are 8 steps of complexity or like advancement before finding our final Vlad relic. All the other Vlad relics are random and can be found wherever, but there's one that is locked behind this complexity. And basically, what we started off there was getting Power of Mist. Since that didn't advance our, since Power of Mist by itself doesn't unlock any other checks, then we're still at complexity layer 1. If we find, let's say Leapstone or something, that will advance our complexity, which means that we'll be at complexity layer 2. So we're looking for those advancements in our tech, kind of. So, so we're just going through Alchemy Lab here. And in the start, this is kind of what Kurushi was saying earlier. Basically, in the beginning, you have no weapons, because death takes all your stuff. You have no spells. So basically, you're punching stuff. So at this point, you kind of start off, and it's kind of like a challenge run and rando at the same time. It's really hard. So even someone like Slogger and Gaibon, can be challenging. And so just remember that whenever you see this, because it's hard, very, very hard. Just doing a little setup here for Slogger and Gaibon. Very, very clean so far. Nice. And then Gaibon will head down here. Nice. And so just with some spacing, and honestly, Alucard's punches are good as long as you space them well. So that was a perfect fight. Very, very well done.
They didn't know what they were walking into there.
Nope. Yeah. So basically, the way that we're going to be progressing here is next check that we're looking at is Spirit Orb, which is down here a little bit. And hopefully that's something. Otherwise, we have a long trip all the way to the outer wall. But we'll see. What are you hoping to see first, Kurushi?
Honestly, any kind of armor or shield would be great right now. Right now, we don't have any equipment put on, so armor would help just increase our defense to make the early part of the run a little bit less scary. But a shield would actually make it faster straight up, so shield would probably be my first wish at this moment. But honestly, this start is fine. There's not really any issue with it so far. It's a pretty standard spellbound start. Mm-hmm.
Terminus is a pretty good weapon too.
That is true. I should check.
Also, I guess to mention along with that, so in Spellbound, there is something that we call item stat rando. Mm-hmm. And basically that means that weapons inherit other weapons' damage values. So you can find let's say a Basilard. Oh no.
Classic.
I told you this.
Oh my goodness.
You can find a Basilard with a Masamune damage. So it really makes it so it kind of gives the game some more flavor. Some bad weapons can be really good weapons, and some really good weapons can be really bad weapons. So it makes it a little more interesting. You want to explain why we kind of groaned there?
Yeah. So Jewel of Open is technically the relic that would unlock the first in logic step in the regular game, because that's the relic you get at the shop. But it turns out that getting it in Spellbound is the worst case scenario in terms of difficulty. So that means, or not just difficulty actually, also time. Because that means there are a total of 3 checks opened up by a Jewel of Open by itself. And 2 of them are kind of close to each other, relatively speaking. But one of them is completely out of the way of the other 2. And there's a 1/3 chance that that's the next layer of progression that we need. So it's never ideal in terms of time. But even in terms of the difficulty argument, one of those checks that is out of the 2 that are close to each other is a check that's guarded by Scylla. And Scylla is a pretty non-trivial boss in this preset this early on. So I'm going right now to open up the Jewel of Open gate. But honestly, I'm going to make the executive choice to not go down to caverns just yet, just to play it safe and see if we find any decent items before we immediately go down there.
Yeah. And that in a more standard preset, that you wouldn't even hesitate going down there because you've got spells. Because spells are like this crutch in Soten, where it's like even if you don't have a weapon, you can always Tetra or Soul Steal or whatever. But in this, if you make one mistake and get hit, you can just get completely zoned out by Scylla. So this is a good choice.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that the density checks near the library, specifically the one that's Soul of Wolf at the elevator, as well as Fairy Scroll and the library shop relic, will make up for the fact that Jewel of Open might be your only way of getting to the next progression layer. So we'll see what fortune lies for us, but for now we're going to make our way towards the outer wall.
Yep, and so that's kind of like this constant. I don't know. In like when you're deciding what to do in randomizer, you kind of have like these two choices. Either you can go to advancement in complexity. So if you find like Jewel of Open, you can choose to follow that down and kind of chase complexity, or you can go to density, which is like you're gonna have to go to these places anyways. You can get teleporters, and maybe you'll find something that makes it so you can go to out of logic, do stuff out of logic, and that can be really good. You want to kind of explain what out of logic means in this context, or just in the randomizer context?
Yeah. Generally speaking, okay. One moment. Let me kill Doppelganger here. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Definitely one of my favorite fights.
Nice. Okay. Yep. There's the. There you go. Nice. Yeah.
Right. Excellent.
Another boss that trivial, but in like Spellbound, very hard.
Yeah.
You can get combo.
Indeed. Yeah. It was nice to have the extra range on the one-handed sword there, because otherwise we would have had to use our fist, which isn't always the easiest.
Now, I know you were mentioning earlier, but you were saying some bosses, especially if you don't get weapons with range early on, can make certain bosses like Scylla and others very, very difficult. Are there any other bosses that can give you a lot of trouble besides Doppelganger or Scylla or others such as that?
Yeah, I would say Minotaur Werewolf can be scary as well.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Interestingly, in well, not just randomizer, but I guess when you have the clear file, when you skip the cutscene that happens before the fight, you're actually able to get a few hits on Minotaur before their, I guess, AI loads in, something like that. So it makes it a lot easier than it would be otherwise. But even then, that fight can still be a nightmare. So I would say on Spellbound, yeah, that's another fight I would group together with Scylla and the likes of those kind of bosses.
Yeah, definitely a nightmare.
Definitely seems like a challenge.
Yeah, that's definitely the idea of this preset. It's supposed to be a similar experience to the safe preset, which was a preset I believe that was, well, okay, at least when I started playing, it was not very well liked. We got Cuba Zoe at the elevator check here. But yeah, that was not a very well liked preset at the time it was around, but I think some people, like myself included, do enjoy that preset. So Spellbound being kind of a derivative of safe preset, while still having its own kind of intricacies in a weird way, kind of ends up being a oddly fun experience at least, but definitely not the same opinion held by everybody.
No, it's this preset is not for the faint of heart. It is tough. Like
now,
you don't.
Can I?
Oh, go ahead. Yep.
I was just going to ask, do you have a preset which you would you consider the most challenging out of all of the ones you've done outside of Spellbound, or is this the one that you would say is one of the more challenging ones?
Yeah, that's a great question. Nothing here at a Fairy Scroll. Okay, well, there's not a unlikely chance that we have to go down to caverns for our next progression relic, but so far, we've got one more check to do. But yeah, apart from Spellbound, I haven't really played a ton of other presets. Like I would say Safe Logic or Safe Preset was the preset I played the most before Spellbound, as well as Nimble. I'd say Nimble is like kind of difficult in its own way in terms of the execution required, because that's a preset where you start with Bat and the duplicator and things that allow you to move really fast. So if you're not able to make use of the fast movement, then it can be very difficult. But okay, we got the shop here. So our shop relic was Holy Symbol, which is not a progression relic, unfortunately. So we will have to go down into the caverns. I'll go ahead and buy the
Nice.
shield to just move much faster. Otherwise, we're not seeing a library card in the shop, so unfortunately, we just gotta press on. But yeah, back to what I was mentioning earlier. Yeah, Nimble is a very fun preset, but honestly, it wears out my fingers really fast because of the wing smashing. I wing smash on D-pad, so that's part of it, but also it's just a very intensive preset execution-wise. But it's a lot of fun. I would say that's my favorite preset apart from safe, so... But yeah,
I definitely hear you on the wearing your fingers out, because this game is what made me stop speedrunning a lot of games, for sure.
Yep.
yeah, I feel that.
Speaking of wearing your fingers out, what's the shield
Dashing.
doing for us?
Yeah, so the reason why we wanted the shield as quickly as possible and why that was the first priority for me in the shop is that shield dashing basically allows us to move much faster than normal backdash chaining. Just making sure I got the warp there. We're basically just holding out the shield and then pressing the backdash button, releasing the shield, releasing the backdash button, alternating between that over and over. It allows us to move in the fashion that you guys see. It's like Alucard wave dashing or something, how people call it. But yeah, that's why a shield is great. Moonwalk. Yeah.
Yep.
Michael Jackson style.
I just remember thinking as a kid that animation was one of the coolest in all of video gaming history. And you know what? It still holds up.
Yep.
Yeah, it's stylish. You know, you can see the shield that you're using as he's moving. It's very sick. But yeah, earlier Swarm asked the question about out of logic progression in the randomizer. Basically, let's say you have the wolf relic or any kind of relic that involves like a transformation of some kind. And let's say you also have the gravity boots relic, which allows you to perform a gravity jump. Basically, if you were to execute the gravity jump from the ground and then in midair transform into the transformation that you possess, such as the wolf, the bat, or the mist. Bat is not the greatest example, but you know, let's pretend that for the sake of this, you can't fly with bat, right? Then you'd actually be able to have out of flight logic or out of logic flight because the game gives you like infinite gravity jumps after you untransform from midair. I'm actually going to save here because we're going to have to fight Scylla right after this. But the game doesn't expect you to make use of the transformations to be able to fly in this way, to get infinite gravity jumps. The game would normally expect you to have Leapstone plus gravity boost in order to be able to fly. But by having like Wolf or some kind of transformation relic plus gravity boots, you can still manage to fly and reach flight progression checks, which is what we call out of logic. So, yeah.
Yeah, and generally, like when you're kind of speedrunning these, you want to naturally want to go fast, and one of kind of the tenets of going fast. Sorry, I'll be quiet for a second.
Oh no, all good.
Okay, this fight can be a little tough sometimes, but basically a tenet is that you kind of want to do things in a way where you're not like overlapping your movement, and so that's generally like the core tenet of routing. Nice fight, by the way.
Nice and quick.
And so if you have an opportunity to do things out of logic, if you're like in a place and you're able to do some more checks, you kind of want to do as many checks as possible, even if they're not technically in logic. Leapstone, cool. So that is our second, that is layer 2 for complexity. So that's our second step. Considering we have Jewel of Open and Leapstone. Ooh, library card, very nice. So we've got Jewel of Open layer 1, we've got Leapstone layer 2, and so now Leapstone unlocks Colosseum, it unlocks Demon card, Grand Floon, our favorite, and that's it. Yeah, so that's where we're looking now. And so here is where there's some routing decisions here. There's not one way to play this game, and you kind of just gotta play the numbers and hope for the best. So, what's your strategy going forward from here? What does Leapstone make you want to do?
Yeah, since I don't have gravity boots still, thinking about going down out of logic into the mines, grabbing demon card check, getting the warp there, and warping to I was thinking of warping to Outer Wall potentially, but I'm actually not sure because I'm not like basically I want to be able to check either Castle Keep next or Coliseum next, and Outer Wall isn't necessarily super close to either, but Castle Keep would be like the most convenient to check right now, but then it puts me farther away from Coliseum, so I might need to decide after I see what's at Demon Card first, even though it's out of logic, since that might be able to help me with moving much more quickly to the next progression relic area. So
so the next logic layer will be, so Demon Card, Grand Floon, and Coliseum are in logic here. So it's got a 66% chance of being down here at the next step, and a 33% chance of being at Coliseum. I'm a numbers guy. That's kind of what I'm known for in the randomizer community. So these are all these things that I'll consider when I'm running through. Gravity Boots, there you go. So that's layer 3. Very nice.
Excellent.
Hey, yo, let's go.
Beautiful.
Also, I misspoke. I meant in logic for that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're totally good. I got you.
Yes.
I got you. He's still again, no spells. So, he's just trying to stay alive at this point.
Yeah, for sure. No armor either.
Yeah, exactly.
These little imps are the worst.
Once you get some spells, it gets easier. But again, still no spells, so we're in hard mode still. So
that's right.
And so now we have an opportunity to kind of, I kind of like, So we'll see where we want to do here. What are you thinking?
Yeah, the closest check right now is the Fire Bat check that's just above in the map. It's really close to Outer Wall Warp, so it's really easy to fit in whenever you're near the Outer Wall Warp itself. So might as well do it right now. Some dudes ahead.
Yep. They're the worst. Always there when you don't need them. But if you're doing Royal Quest Keep, they're never there.
Yeah.
So now this is our one kind of flight. So you can see with the Leapstone, after you use Leapstone, then you get infinite until you run out of mana, Gravity Boots. So basically flight layer is like really, really open because there are a lot of flight checks. So you have a lot of choices of where you want to go here. A general strat, and probably what we'll see here is clockwise. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, the idea of clockwise is you basically sweep around the castle in the clockwise direction, starting from entrance through Alchemy Lab up until Coliseum, and then you go from there into Alrock's quarters to check the sword card location, and then end up at Castle Keep at the end of it. And it allows you to get a lot of coverage without needing to go super out of your way for anything. Well, I guess the one thing I'm going out of my way for right now is entrance. Technically, you don't really have to do entrance right away from the clockwise route, but I'm content with doing it right now since I can get through the zombie rooms decently fast. It's kind of annoying to get through these zombie rooms because you don't have like Power of Wolf or Bat with Wing Smash, then you have to do what I'm doing with Leapstone, or you have to backdash and occasionally slash the zombies that spawn. So it's pretty annoying.
Just balling right off the top of the dome.
Yeah.
Indeed. Let's see what entrance holds for us. Oh, so this is that's not bad.
Beautiful. All right, so that could be progression. That could be progression here. So with because we have flight, and this is on flight layer. So this is 1, Jewel of Open, 2, Leapstone, 3, Gravity Boots, and then 4 is a possibility because in this scenario, Soul of Wolf will, like a transformation will unlock Aurochs. So Aurochs, the boss, is now within logic. So that could be where we're meant to go next, which is very, very convenient because that's a part of clockwise. So that's really nice. So yeah, very, very nice in like a race setting, and Kurushi would be very, very happy because a lot of people, myself included, don't like going to entrance in this scenario.
Yeah,
you know, it's It's just kind of playing the numbers, but like a lot of if you make this decision in the race setting, you're feeling very, very good. So very nice, Kurushi.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think especially for like playing a seed in a marathon, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I will
100%.
show some skips. Like, I definitely am with Swarm on this one. Skipping Grand Flume is probably the right move. Most of the time, we got Gas Cloud now. But you know, Grand Flute could hold value. We never know.
Could be. Well, we'll see. You know, anything can happen. You know, in my last run for GDQ, Grand Flume did have something, and I was talking mad garbage to Grand Flume as I always do. So he'll get you sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. I think
Grand Balloon is the one boss I would not talk crap on.
Yep.
He'll send everybody after you.
Yep. He'll send everyone. Yeah. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, we're just making our way here. Even though we fought Slugger and Gaibon, there is a check here, so we're kind of just going through here for efficiency. And we don't have a teleporter in the middle, so we're kind of making our way. To be honest, we haven't found any Vlads yet, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
that's right. Yeah,
So
it's a bit concerning.
Yeah, so there are a lot. Grand Flume's kind of looking a little scary right now. I mean,
Yeah. Thankfully, it's not a... Oh, Marcel.
ooh.
Let's see the attack
Beautiful.
on that. Okay, that's definitely better than what I have right now.
Yeah, for sure. So Terminus is a nice weapon, but Marcel's better, especially because it hits a bunch. And it makes a really cool sound. So honestly, that carries a lot of weight for me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the sound is the most satisfying thing. It's awesome.
I guess everyone here, what's your favorite weapon? Kurushi, you can go first.
You know, I've thought about this recently, and it feels kind of cheesy to say it right now because I just got it, but Marcel would be like among my top 3, I would say. If I had to pick another one, though, probably Vorpal Blade. Vorpal Blade is just cool.
Yeah, that's a great one. That is a great one. How about you, Thor?
Ooh, honestly, so I'm going to sound a bit cliche here, but I think I have to say 2 as well, which is 1, Alucard sword, because it's my favorite color, and also you just cannot beat the whole teleporting behind your enemy and slashing them and returning back. And the anime made that seem so cool as well, so
Yep.
definitely that one. But also Yatagarasu's, which I believe was in this game. I think I'm thinking of that correctly. Alucard's multi-hit blade. That one with the rainbow hit, I love the animation of that more than any other weapon in the game. And to this day, it still is one of my favorite animations and powerhouses in the game.
Yeah, Yasutsuna is awesome. I think...
Is it Yatsutsuna or?
Yeah.
It probably
Yeah,
is.
I got you, though. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. No, we all
Yeah,
know you,
that's a
don't
sick weapon.
it? Yeah,
I think I've been playing too much Harmony of Despair.
No, I mean, you described it perfectly, so... Yeah, you're spot on.
Kind of funny because if you play the game with a hitbox viewer, then you can just see how broken that weapon is. Its hitbox like leaves. It's like completely detached from the weapon. It doesn't work properly. But you know,
It's just like, I'll hit everything everywhere all at once. It's fine. Don't worry about where I'm supposed to be.
it actually also like gives you iframes in certain scenarios too, so you can just like walk through enemies while hitting them. It's kind of a very broken weapon. Ooh, sub-weapon, very nice.
You know, that makes a lot of sense.
And so I'd probably say mine is Fistatulcus. I love that weapon. It's got multiple spells. It's a punch weapon. It's a Lord of the Rings reference. So I just totally takes the cake by far.
You know, as big a fan of Lord of the Rings as I am, I never realized that was a Lord of the Rings reference. I feel like this game has so many, from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure with the stone mask and Fistatulcus, and there's one other I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's so many packed into this game.
Yeah. It's great. And so here's a fight that is, you know, for sure tough, but now we have a good weapon, so it's not as scary. But, you know, anything's scary at this point. We still don't have any spells, right?
Yeah, no spells, no armor either. Well, I think I did pick up Demon Card. Okay, there's a random Vlad. So
Blood. There you go.
that's one of the better ones to find early because it gives us strength up.
So you're doing more damage.
Yeah, interesting thing about oops, don't want to lose my stopwatch. Interesting thing about Coliseum in this preset is that not only do you sometimes have to go to Coliseum without any spells to fight Minotaur and Werewolf, but also normally when you go to Coliseum and you play any other preset of the randomizer, surprise mode won't be on, so you'll be able to see the relic that's behind the mist gate before you actually fight Minotaur and Werewolf. But in this preset, surprise mode is on, so not only do you not know the relic, but you're not sure if you are required to fight Minotaur and Werewolf. So it becomes really annoying. A lot of people decide to defer Coliseum oftentimes, especially if it's not a required relic location to check at that given time. So, but here, it's along the way. No issue with checking it right now.
And so now, we're at the point where we're going to be checking our next, what is likely our next layer of progression, which is Aurochs. We got our transformation Soul of Wolf. So we'll be able to fit through the little corridor and check that. And he's a tough little boss, but we got a good weapon. But still, he can surprise you, especially with no spells.
Indeed.
This is like the most spellbound seed.
Okay, we did get.
I was gonna say no spells in Spellbound. That is what a terrible night to have a curse.
Yeah.
For real.
So, this is a very spellbound seed. Also, another thing about Spellbound is that our beloved Bat Relic, you need a scroll to Wing Smash. So a little bit of a bat nerf, to be honest. So you find yourself shield dashing a lot in this preset. Also, shout out to Weecock and Crazy for the alternate wolf skins. They look really freaking cool.
Yeah,
I've never seen the wolf with that green skin.
Yeah, and they have different Alucard skins, different Maria skins. If you ever see a Maria cutscene, they definitely put in the work. So shout out to you guys.
Yeah, I love the new Richter colors in the prologue. Like, I think the fact that the Alucard's like jacket matches the health bar color is really cool.
Yeah, no, it's tight. There's a lot of really cool stuff. Ooh, Soul Steel. Nope, it was bait.
Indeed.
We'll
put on
baited.
Fairy card just for fun. I like putting on a Fairy card.
But we got our first spell, so that's hype. Got some hype there. So now, honestly, Soul Steel is a good spell to have. It's a big kind of, not really a get out of jail free, but it helps. Basically a free potion, free heal. Let's see what this is. Claymore. That would have been useful a while ago.
Yeah.
So that's a type of weapon, which is a thrust weapon. You can actually use that for out of logic flight, but we already have flight, so we don't care. So what are we looking for here? So now that we know that Wolf is not progression, we know that we're still looking for stuff in flight layer. So we're at 1 Jewel of Open, 2 Leapstone, 3.
Okay, that's interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Okay.
Good interesting or bad interesting?
No clue, honestly.
Honestly, I think it's nice because, well, what that really tells us, basically in the randomizer, you can kind of glean some things from these seeds. So what that tells us is that, basically Echo, since Bat isn't in the
That's a nice one.
duplicator. All right.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That really changes my loadout potentially. So
Yeah, beautiful. So that's combat and defense completely solved. You got a mana prism even. Dang.
yeah,
And a library card. Dang.
Yeah, with the library card too. It's awesome.
Beautiful,
Okay.
beautiful.
Eating good tonight.
Yeah. So if we find Wing Smash, then we are absolutely cruising. But man, that's great. Beautiful. Sorry, what was I saying? Right. You can glean that in our complexity tree, we expect echo bat to be our progression, and that's random bat. So, or yeah, it could be shared complexity, but we'll get there later. We'll get there later once we see what this is. So, yeah, cool seed. This is a very, very interesting one. So we've got a couple of flight checks left. We've got, let's see, what do we have? We've got Power of Mist, we've got Ghost Card, and we have Succubus. And those are our 3 that can be progression, if I'm not mistaken. This is purely relying on my memory, and it's not great because I rely on the tracker very much.
yeah, the tracker's been so useful to play randomizer with. It helps a lot for learning.
There's a lot of like quality of life things as the randomizer has progressed. Shout out to Eldritch and Sacred Lucy. They've created a lot of really, really useful tools to make it easy to get into, and basically sets up everything that you need for you and randomize the seeds just on your computer. Makes it really, really easy without having to have any tech savvy. So big shout out to them. They put a lot of work into it. So, and I guess I'll plug it here for now, because just so I don't forget, if anyone's interested in playing Symphony of the Night Rando, go to www.symphonyrando.fun for more info. Has tutorials, has setup stuff, another random lad, very nice, and a lot of just kind of general info on getting into the randomizer, so definitely check it out. Another random lad. So honestly, Grand Floon is looking not scary at all.
Yeah.
Feeling better about that. All right, so this 1 in 3 chance of being... okay, this is very interesting. This, there's a lot of routes that you go here, and a lot of interesting things that can be done. But I leave that up to you, Kurushi.
Yeah, opening things up this much can be a little bit scary sometimes in a race setting, because then that sort of divergence can make you lose. Oh, okay, well, Echo being there, okay. That's pretty high confidence to go to Spikebreaker location pretty soon. So
yep.
I think for now I'm gonna library card.
So basically what we're thinking here, so that is a little confusing what's going on here. And so wait, that was Form of Mist at Power of Mist, right? Mm-hmm. And then Echo. Man, this seed's crazy. Crazy.
There's so many places that are opened up at the same time.
So this could very well, this has a 50-50 chance of being something. And if it is something, then that means that Spikebreaker is not anything. Well, it could be random Vlad, but we'll see. Honestly, this is a tough seed, just complexity-wise.
Yeah, definitely.
But a nice seed as far as items, so we'll take it.
True. Yeah, I can't believe we went from Marcel to saying, okay, goodbye, Marcel. Hello, Duplicator. In the span of like a couple minutes.
Hello, Duplicator. Hello, library card. Hello, Mana Prison.
Oh my goodness. Well, okay.
Yes.
Wow.
All right.
Okay, we're straight up playing Nimble now.
All right. So basically, we have like the dream build here, which is awesome. We've got literally everything that you could ever want, I guess, other than like a Varda. That's like the one thing that you might want. But honestly, we're feeling pretty good. So Wing Smash, that unlocks our beloved ability to move very fast.
Listen, we love to go fast, all right? Yeah. We love to go fast.
Absolutely.
And,
all right, I'm just going to make a quick shop trip here to pick up anything that I can afford. Oh, okay. I think that's the Varda.
Mm-hmm. That is the Varda.
Okay, yeah.
And so Varda in this preset, we kind of touched on it earlier with the stat rando. So any like I guess accessory is what you'd call it, I guess, can have Varda stats. And so Varda turned out to be a starlight, which is awesome. So we literally there's nothing more that you'd want from the seed.
Yeah, for real.
It's great. So it's awesome. And we've got our Wing Smash, so we get to move fast. Yeah, Wing Smash is a speedrunner's dream.
And speaking of a speedrunner's dream, by the way, did you all know that prize submissions are open for SGDQ 2025? Visit gamesdonequick.com for more info. And hopefully we'll have a chance to see you there.
Nice. Yeah. I guess other than Wing Smash, what's your favorite spell?
Mine, you know, lately I've come to appreciate spells like Summon Spirit and Tetra Spirit a lot. I have to go with those. Like before, my favorite spell was Hellfire just because it looked cool. But in terms of like the randomizer, Tetra Spirit's definitely like awesome spell to have. Helps a lot.
Yeah. I'd probably say I'm with Hellfire because it looks cool and it allows you to do a lot of out of logic stuff, which is fun. It lets you flex a little bit, flex some cool strats. So always fun.
I won't lie. I think my favorite spell, if it has to be just for the pure aesthetics alone and the voice acting, because I love a hammy dub, the way they do Dark Metamorphosis and the way he screams out every time gets me. I love it.
Yep. That's a classic. You know, it was like recorded on someone's like Nokia Engage. Sounds.
Oh man, not me dating myself by knowing that. Oh.
Yes, Chad. If you know what that is, you're old. Sorry.
Oh, well, time to take myself to the retirement home.
That's funny. All right, and so here's a little out of logic check for us. So this is a nice little routing decision that Kurushi's doing here. So on his way down, we are going through Colosseum, which we already went through, but we're going up through here to go to Silver Ring. So this is technically out of logic, even though we're able to do it. Basically, it means that normally, under normal circumstances, the game would expect you to have Spike Breaker in order to do this, but we don't. We have Bat and we have Wing Smash, Bat, and Power of Mist. And we can use the iframes from our Mana Prism or Potion, I forget which one you have on, to get through the door, which is nice. Heart of Vlad. Ooh, okay.
Could be Final Vlad, but it's hard to know for sure right now. Yeah.
Could be Final Vlad. Nice. That is great. All right, so that's the dream. So we have what we think, because Silver Ring is usually a very, very high complexity. It's one of the highest complexity checks in the game. So considering we found a Vlad there, it's highly likely that is the final Vlad. And so at this point, I don't have the tracker. We've got 3 Vlads. I think there's fairy card. Fairy card that's open.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I did do that behind. Sorry. Yes, thanks.
I just wanted, triple check there.
Yeah, thanks for catching that.
No problem. I would hate to. It's not likely to be something, but I figured I'd say just in case.
Yeah, for sure.
But basically, we've got 3 Vlads.
Oh, well, there we go.
So it's all right. Beautiful. All right. Thank goodness.
Yes.
So now, man, I'm in a race setting.
Man, that was a trip to the grocery store.
Yep.
Picked up everything. Got the ribs, got the eyes, got... What else do you need at this point?
Yeah, seriously. And so this is kind of the... having this many Vlads is a double-edged sword in a race condition, or in like a race scenario, because like it's likely, if you're just playing the numbers, which I'm a big fan of, it's likely that you found all the Vlads in the first castle and you just need glasses and you go second castle and then skip everything else, because that's the statistical correct thing to do. But in a marathon setting, naturally, you can't really do that. But
yeah.
But in a race setting, that's kind of what would be going through your mind at this moment.
Now, besides statistical help, can I ask, do the items you pick up do anything else to aid you that's beneficial? Like, why is it important to get certain items over others besides the statistical? Are there advantages to them or things like that?
Yeah, Krushi, you want to go with that one?
Yeah, I think in terms of like the equipment items you find in this preset, early on, and correct me if I didn't understand the question well, but if you find like a thrust sword early on from like a random enemy drop of some kind, you might be able to access Coliseum out of logic earlier than like other people that are racing together with you would. So something like that could like swing a race quite a bit. But in terms of the progression relics, like this is kind of a weird seed to use as an example because we kind of just found everything we need to check most spots. But if we say found holy glasses sooner than we found all the other things that we found in the seed, we might have been coerced into going to second castle much earlier than was necessary, strictly speaking, for the seed. And that wouldn't necessarily be a good thing. Like it's not inherently a bad thing, but you know, chances are if there's something important in first castle that we're leaving behind and we end up going to second castle earlier than we need to, then that can put us very far behind in a race setting. In this kind of seed, we still need to look for holy glasses, so we have to kind of go literally everywhere to be able to find it, and we're hoping that it's not Gramflin that has it, but you know, at this point,
yeah,
might as well check it, I guess.
Well, thank you for the explanation. That helps me understand this a lot better.
Yeah, awesome.
And Granfloon, nobody can see me right now, but I'm shaking my fist at Granfloon. I don't like it.
Yeah,
it's kind of my thing.
Yeah, it's not very likely to be here, but we did take a save before coming here. Yeah. Okay. I'm willing to keep Power of Wolf. We don't need it, strictly speaking, but
nice. It's a nice to have.
Yeah.
It's a nice to have for sure. So yeah, Wolf actually has some advantages over Bat in some scenarios. If there's like a long corridor, it's actually more advantageous to Power of Wolf and Skill of Wolf. If you can get to max, it's hard if you don't have Skill of Wolf. So at this point, we're opting to do Bat. But if you get full Wolf, Wolf is actually like comparable to Bat or better in a lot of scenarios. But now from here, we can glean that it's. I mean, this is glasses here, because we found Echo and Bat on the same layer, which is, to me, kind of a strong indicator. And here we get to see a fun little strat. Krushi's showing off. He's got Echo too, but he wanted to show blind Bat. Good stuff.
So that's what we call it. Gotta show it.
Style points are very, very valuable currency. So I applaud you there. Very nice. So Blind Bat is like a strat that you can pull out where you just need Bat and Krushi's comfortable enough in the dark room where it can do it blind. So that's why we call it Blind Bat. We're a creative community. So
and then there's just me who walks into the room and says, "Why am I taking all this damage?"
Yeah. And there are innumerable strats to get through that room in very, very bizarre ways. 99% of them were created by one person, and that's Durdrak, winner of the last tournament. So shout out to Durdrak. He's an absolute monster in that room. He's literally, like, in the most absurd ways, he can get through that room. And it's insane. Like, with just, like, Wolf, Skill of Wolf, and, like, Leapstone, like, you can get through. It's absurd on a different level. So we're feeling good about this seed. This is a good seed. What are you thinking?
Straight to second castle.
Beautiful.
I think skipping Merman and Succubus is reasonable enough here. Succubus.
I agree.
Yeah, Succubus is one I usually check as soon as I get flight, but since it was far away from when we got flight, and it's close to where we still have some potential checks left to do, such as Holy Glasses and Merman Statue, I think it's fine to defer it for now. Merman Statue, Holy Symbol, my bad.
Yeah.
Merman Statue location itself We don't talk about that one. Technically, I could have checked it, but it's pretty far out of the way now. So we're just hoping that it doesn't have anything. And there's a pretty low likelihood that it has anything to begin with.
And so this shows kind of like a benefit of doing out of logic checks, because at this point we know that we have free skips on the table, because we've got 1 Jewel of Open, 2 Leapstone, 3 Gravity Boots, 4 Bat and Echo, 5 Glasses, and then 6 is something in the second castle, and then we have Rings and Spikebreaker, and then we already have the final lad. And so we know that any complexity check at this point, we don't need to go there, because we already have what complexity leads to. So those are basically free checks that you get to skip, which is great. That's the power of out of logic checks. And also the power of numbers. We have a bunch of checks in the second castle and only 2 valid checks for random Vlads in the first castle. So we're playing the numbers. I'm a big fan of that. So we'll see. And we get to go to our next decision point. Which one is it going to be?
I will go left side.
Nice.
Because I do like left side traversal more. That's honestly my only reason. But there are seeds where it definitely makes sense to go a certain side. Like, for example, if you don't have any transformation, you miss out on the Akbadon check on right side. Actually, Swarm, do you want to describe what I'm talking about when I say left side versus right side? I guess we didn't establish that yet.
Yeah. So in the second castle, there are basically 2 routes. You can go left side route or right side route. Left side route will take you through here, go to Creature, then reverse caverns, and all the way up to Galamoth. And then right side, you go Medusa to Bees, and then you decide from there. And that's kind of the 2 choices. It comes out to be like a 55% chance of something being on the left side if you're looking for one thing, and then a 45% chance of being on the right side. And so we're opting for left side because we choose the numbers. We go on the side of the numbers. That's our strat. And here we've got, and so what remains on left side is Creature. We've got Dop 40. We've got, Dop 40. We've got Force of Echo. We've got Death, and we've got Galamoth. And on right side, we're hoping that there's nothing on right side, which has Medusa, Akmadan, Trio, and Bees. I am a big fan of left side. It takes a little bit to get to the first check, but if you're just going on numbers, then this is the correct decision. And so yeah, big fan of this decision. But yeah, so we'll see. It's a bit of a contentious thing in the community. People like it or they don't. It can feel bad because in a race setting, if you choose the wrong side, then you lose a ton of time. And it feels bad, but as long as you play the numbers and make good decisions, then, the rest, it's a randomizer and you get randomized sometimes,
It is the randomizer. Not a gamble.
Anything can happen. Yep. So, so we're just climbing here to Creature, who is our favorite boss, right?
Everyone loves skipping Creature, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, people are not a big fan of Creature. People think he never carries anything, never has anything of value, but I don't know, I've got a feeling this is a Creature seed so far. It literally, everything has worked out like beautifully in this run. So yeah, I think this is a Creature seed, and then we're just going to end it, which would be pretty neat. It'd be very, very neat. But yeah, honestly, this showcase has been so unbelievably clean. I couldn't have done better myself. So very, very nice.
Yeah, thanks. All right, let's see what Creature holds. Moment of truth.
Nope. Oh, Dark Metamorphosis.
Hey, look, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
All right,
no girthing for it, though.
Yep, no girthing. Good weapon, though. Good weapon. Okay, and now we're going through here, going up to caverns, reverse caverns. And so we'll see where that takes us. Still high likelihood that it's left side. Actually, right now it's a 50-50. But we'll see, we'll see. A prominent Sotan philosopher said everything is a 50-50. So
Either you get it or you don't.
yeah, exactly. Either the important relic is there or it's not. Shout out to Ren. Great Sotan runner from Brazil. So shout outs. But yeah, so do you have a favorite song, Thor?
Ooh, honestly, I think it's just the beginning of the game where you're fighting all the wargs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's definitely got to be one of my favorite. I don't know. That game was just so amazing with what it did with its opening and the way it pulls you into the castle. And to this day, I think that just stuck in my head. But also the library. I don't know what it is about that overall section leading into the library, but I love the music on that because I think it's just so different than anything else.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I gotta give it to the library for sure. It's a certified banger.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Krushi? What do you think?
I would have to go with probably the Coliseum song. That one, that is super big jam. Yeah,
that's a sleeper for sure.
Mega jam. Mm-hmm.
For some reason, that always reminds me of like the Gerudo Valley music. I don't know why, but it just always reminds me of it. Both bangers.
I can definitely see that.
All right, so first,
you know what though?
Wow. Okay.
Go.
there it is.
Sorry,
left side. Let's go.
Sorry about that. Oh my goodness.
Beautiful. Sorry, what were you saying, Thor?
Oh, I was just saying, actually, I think the other part of my favorite music would probably be the doppelganger fight, because I don't know, that music just goes hard.
Yep.
The music just goes hard.
Man, this run has been so clean. Literally.
Yeah, left side finish too.
Beautiful. Literally perfect run.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Love to see it. So, we're in go mode now. We've got the 5 pieces of Vlad, 5 pieces of Exodia, and Drac fight is right there too. So it's perfect, literally perfect. I'm gonna save a lot up to the end because I can still get one shot by Guardians. So.
So yeah, we're in go mode. Man, yeah, literally flawless. No notes. But this has been great. And let's see. So yeah, I guess the remaining thing, just don't get Novid. Knock on wood, but
This was always the part of the game that I died the most when going through this game. Is always those little floor traps, especially as a kid.
Yep.
Those killed me a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that being said, can I ask how many times have you done these randos to get this good at the game?
Ooh, I wouldn't consider myself to be like at the top level or anything, but I've played since late 2023. But honestly, where I learned the most and I felt like I improved the most was just by watching a lot of good players. Like I watched a lot of Dragon Blitz. I watched a lot of Swarm as well, who's here in commentary. I watched Dinner Dog. Those players definitely I learned a lot from. And because of the great resources that the community has, such as Dinner Dog's videos, as Swarm mentioned earlier, symphony.rando.fun, and all the places you can just read about the techniques in this game, it made it way easier to actually quickly understand what's going on in the randomizer and apply them for myself in the seeds I was playing. But that being said, I don't know exactly how much time I have in the game now, but I probably played hundreds of seeds at this point, and even that's nothing compared to the top players. So, but yeah, it goes to show anyone can truly get into the Soden randomizer. And if you aren't playing this game already, what are you doing? Go play it.
I agree.
True.
I agree.
It's
this was the first game I ever played, and so this game has a deep place in my heart for just being one of my favorites. So it's really cool to get to see this played in such a different way.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Spellbound is a cool take on what previous randomized presets have done, and all the quality of life improvements, such as the fast warp, such as having the tournament mode on as well, have really made for a great experience overall. And time's going to be coming up on the end of this drag fight. So as soon as we see the red text appear on the screen, it's going to be time.
But yeah, if you're interested in getting into the randomizer, symphonyrando.fun. That's a good place to start. Also, joining the good stuff. Joining the Lone Library Discord is also very, very good. Join us, race with us, all that.
And while we get ready to close out this run, why don't you two tell everybody where they can find you? And yeah, like, this has been a fantastic run, to say the very least. Just my goodness, 57 minutes and 48 seconds. But yeah, where can they find you? What are you working on? What projects are you doing? And well done on the race. Also, just one other thing, the next run is going to be a viewer's choice, and our trucker Anarchy needs to know where they're going. So get on the truck, make sure you vote in the poll that's going on right now. And yeah, that being said, Kurushi, do you have any final shout outs or anyone that you'd like to give mention to? You as well, Swarm?
Yeah, for sure. Well, first of all, sorry again about the estimate. We played it safe on this one because Spellbound can be slow, but we never expect it to be like this typically. So, but yeah, I want to give special thanks to Swarm for joining me on the commentary for this. Made it a lot easier to, ease into this run, because I'm definitely not super comfortable talking about playing this game still. But Swarm, thank you so much for helping out with that. Really appreciate having you on. And second thing to mention, thanks to everyone that watched the run and supported. And there are a lot of people from my friend's side that tuned in, as well as from the Symphony of the Night community. Big shouts out to the Symphony of the Night community. It's an awesome community. And even though for a long time I was just watching from the sidelines, I learned a lot just by watching, and because of all the great resources that the community has and the way people talk about the game. They talk about it intelligently and really show their knowledge like through and through in all the races they do. So I want to give a big shout out to them. Shouts out also to all the streamers that stream this game day in and day out. Like, it really makes learning this game and enjoying this game a lot easier. Shouts out also to the Afterimage Speedrunning community. Even though it's not the Symphony of the Night community, it's adjacently related. And if not for Afterimage, I wouldn't be here playing Symphony of the Night. So I want to give a shout out to them as well. And lastly, in terms of my socials, you can find me on YouTube, where I do everything. youtube.com/kurushiidrive. I stream lately blind playthroughs, so if you're interested in that kind of thing, feel free to check it out. I do also do randomizer runs and speedruns from time to time. Yeah, I think that's all I had. Swarm, anything you had?
Just shout out to the dev team of the Rando. Big shout out to Eldritch and Mott and Crazy, who does the site, and just so many people have their hands in that. We just love racing the Rando, and it's not possible without you guys. So special shout out to them. And yeah, everyone give Kurushi a follow. Great Rando player, and I hope to see you continuing to race and continuing to progress, because you've turned into just a really, really great player, as showcased here. Literally perfect run. So very, very
thank you
nice.
so much.
And kudos to both of you. This has been a fantastic run, one which I've been so happy to sit in on and host for you all. But everybody, I do want to remind you, we got a wonderful poll that you can participate in to decide where we're going to be driving. Kushi, Swarm, you all have a wonderful night. And everybody, we'll be continuing to let this poll run throughout the ad break. So please go do your thing, vote in that poll, and we'll be right back in just a little bit for some